Welcome to the Advaita channel. I'm Bhagavati and I'm going to continue reading from the Ribhu Gita today. I failed to do it a little differently, not to just go week after week, chapter by chapter, verse by verse, but to dip in. But first, I'd just like to start with a short contemplation from Muji. Thank you.
There is no need to scratch your head about anything you're hearing at the moment. Just allow the listening to take place. You don't have to identify as a listener even. My feeling is that something brought you here. Some urge, some impulse. We don't have to work so hard at it. In itself carries the power to open up this mystery to itself. We have been wrongly schooled or taught about these things, that you must acquire, you must push, you must struggle. And we overlook some very simple seeing. And even if inside even this body and mind, there is some sense of burning or some crackling of discomfort, it's okay. It also can be the movement of grace. You don't have to work everything out. It's working itself out. Some things are working themselves out. We are completely natural in our being. It's not something you have to acquire. It is there. It's not up to you to balance this universe. Your own being is already in perfect attunement and balance. But we very easily, almost like a reflex, turn to some very tired thinking, thoughts we hold about what is true. And somehow it appears that these thoughts, holding on to them, believing in them, they suffocate your own spontaneity. But ultimately, that essential truth in us is never tarnished. This is my good news. It only appears like this. And don't get it wrong. You can suffer from appearances. We are suffering from appearances, not from truth. You cannot suffer from the truth. It's perfectly natural to us to be happy and to be at peace. It's not located somewhere else outside of yourself to go looking for it. But in the journey, in the play of consciousness, you may take innumerable journeys. A kind of inner maturing is going on by itself. It seems a mystery. is our nature. Sometimes even in a gathering like this, you may feel some sense of discomfort, some inner noise, and again, mind rushes forth to interpret that this is something wrong. It's not. Sometimes it's just pushing something out. Sometimes simultaneously, a deep peace is present with you. Ultimately, that essential truth in us is never tarnished. It only appears like this. Come to a place of being prior to knowing.
Welcome, Shakti. Thank you for joining me. This week I have a strong feeling to put some more space around the Ribhu. I was given great education by our master Ananta last week. I'm feeling to slow down, to find some more space in this beautiful text. And also today the feeling to dip into it, to let the Ribhu tell me what to read, rather than to do it systematically by numbers. So I'd like to break up the reading as well. I have a couple of recorded readings by Guruji, by Srimuji, which I'd like to also bring in. Namaste Nitya. So today, this beautiful book, I just opened it, let it choose a section to read. And so, let's see what this great master has to share with us. So today, reading chapter 12, verse 29. It's page 181 in this version of the Ribhu I'm reading. All things appearing otherwise, whoever, in whatever way seen, are Brahman. Of the nature of knowledge, and the substratum of all, everywhere, and nothing apart from Brahman. Wherever waves and such are seen, these are only the ocean. Could they be anything apart? Whatever appearances are seen, wherever, are likewise Brahman and nothing apart. Those last four lines of that are just so perfect in their own right. Wherever waves and such are seen, these are only the ocean. Could they be anything apart? Whatever appearances are seen, wherever, are likewise Brahman and nothing apart. The numerous waves rising and falling in the ocean of water are only a modification of water. Has anyone seen any other state in between? The waves of the phenomenal world and anything else, rising and subsiding in the ocean of Brahman consciousness, being also only that Brahman consciousness, truly cannot be anything else in between. And see others here have read this way too. It's a very beautiful way to read from the Ribhu. And Nitya, satsang fever. Satsang fever there. Satsang fever everywhere today. Such beautiful, beautiful fever for us all. Like the axiom that all modifications of earth are only earth. All modifications of water are only water. And all modifications of space are only space. So all the world, individuals, jivas, and the supreme para being in Brahman consciousness are only Brahman. There's a word here I'm going to have to look up, which is in the next verse, because I have no idea and I have a feeling many will ask me. Ah, okay. Very good. Very beautiful verse. I don't ever feel when I pick up the Ribhu that it could be anything less than a flawless teaching from a flawless teacher, a guru in my hand, guru in my heart. So verse 32, like the axiom that the thief seen in the tree, due to fear, is only just the tree. The axiom that silver seen in misconception, in the nacre, is only nacre. This was the word I looked up. It's mother of pearl. So we look at a tree, but out of fear we see a thief in the tree. We look at mother of pearl, and we see silver. And the axiom that the serpent seen in the rope in the darkness is ever only the rope. That great powerful image of Advaita. The serpent seen in the rope in the darkness is ever only the rope. It doesn't matter what we imagine it to be. It's still a rope. Always a rope. So the differentiation of the world and beings seen in Brahman is completely always Brahman. Reminds me of a saying coming from a Buddhist background before I came to Muji. Everything is Buddha mind. Everything. Everyone we meet, every animal, every object. This book, this computer, the birds I hear outside, everything is Buddha mind. Everything we can see, hear and touch and smell and taste in Brahman, in consciousness, is completely always Brahman. And we must always treat it that way. Another teaching I received was Meet everyone eye to eye, as a Buddha meets a Buddha. We don't judge, are you a Buddha? Am I a Buddha? We just know. We're just founded in this knowledge, this supreme knowledge, that we're all Buddha mind. And when we live from this place, how can we harm anything? How can we cause damage? Even just a cup of tea. It's Buddha mind. It's Brahman. It's precious. It's divine. It's truly divine. Verse 33. As all superimpositions everywhere are only the substratum thereof, so the world and beings, the superimpositions, seen as adhering on the substratum of Brahman, are only the supreme Brahman, the enduring substratum. Everything is Brahman. Everything is founded on Brahman. Everything is contained within Brahman. Everything is pure. Every time we fail to see this, we're just believing the mind. This is the ultimate conclusion of the crest of the Vedas. The conclusion graciously expounded by Shiva is this. The experience of the enlightened is also this. Hence, there is not an atom apart from Brahman. Not an atom. All is ever only Brahman. What gets submerged in the ocean of birth and death due to bad vasanas? These are tendencies, impressions, ideas, notions. As an individual, jiva is only Brahman. It doesn't matter how much nonsense we see, we think we see, we believe we see, we hear, we touch. It's all Brahman. And anything we perceive that isn't Brahman is not true. It's simply not true. What experiences listening, Sravana, and other means, due to good vasanas, is only Brahman. What remains as Brahman, rid of fear, due to the vasana of non-difference, is also only Brahman. Fear, such poisonous thought. It is only Brahman that performs the daily and occasional rites towards an end as prescribed. It is only Brahman that obtains purity of mind by such actions. It is only Brahman that practices well, listening with a pure mind. What can it mean to listen with a pure mind? This is to just be pure listening, pure awareness, not touched by thoughts, by concepts. Just listen as things are. We already know there can only be pure Brahman. It is only Brahman that practices well. Reflection, constantly, with devotion. What is it to reflect? To reflect, to look upon, to contemplate. To contemplate with devotion, constantly. These pure teachings, the Ribhu, of our masters, we're given such pure and clear pointings. If we can just pay clear attention to these beautiful, radiant pointings, we would be so filled with light. Chapter 36. It is only Brahman that continuously, unremittingly engages in contemplation. It's this contemplation that my own life has become. This continuous contemplation. Even when outside things are raging, even when in this body, this mouth, things are raging, changing, always in contemplation. This source, where does the I arise? Always in contemplation at this place. It is only Brahman. Only Brahman. It is only Brahman that is the absorption in meditation with senses functioning. We can meditate, we can walk around, we can be at work, we can drink our tea, we can give a reading, and yet still we can be in meditation. There's no reason for it to start or finish. All of our senses can function outside, can all still carry on. It has no bearing on the nature of meditation. I was taught Zazen to sit straight back, hands in a particular posture depending which tradition you were from. All very correct and anatomical and no doubt very good for the body. But for Brahman, for consciousness, for truth, for enlightenment, I trust Guruji when he tells us it makes no difference. I trust him because I tried it, I've explored it. Still I sit, but it doesn't end with sitting, and it doesn't start with sitting. It's just an aspect of consciousness when we sit. It is only Brahman that is established as the knowledge of that, the void, in absorption, in meditation, without functioning of the senses. It is only Brahman that becomes still, like a rock, and remains unsullied. Is there anything more still than a rock? At our core, at our heart of our being, we are as still as a rock, solid as a mountain. unmoving, unmoved, unmovable. And untouched, pure. It is only Brahman that sees things mistakenly. In variety and differentiation due to conditioning, like delusion. So although we may see differences and variety in the world, through the conditioning of our delusion, the delusion of our conditioning, it's still only Brahman. But moreover, it is the seer who is Brahman, regardless how mistakenly these delusions are taken. Still, beneath the delusion, there is only pure Brahman. The conclusion, by supreme knowledge, that only Brahman exists, is also Brahman alone. The idea, due to the ignorance of Maya, delusion, that I am the individual, Jiva, and different, is only Brahman. We have a pattern forming here. We have no escape from this. We're Brahman. We're Brahman perceiving Brahman in Brahman. Pure, perfect, whole. Nothing missing. The determination that is free of duality due to supreme knowledge, that I am the Supreme, is also only Brahman. The determination that is free of duality due to supreme knowledge, that I am the Supreme, is also only Brahman. We chase enlightenment, and yet we are the enlightenment that we seek. There's nothing missing. Nothing. Verse 38. Primal ignorance is only Brahman. The actions arising therefrom are also only Brahman. Everything we come across, no matter how crazy it may seem, is pure consciousness in action, demonstrating to us what we need to see, what we need to hear, what we need to experience at any given moment. The knowledge that cuts asunder bondage is also only Brahman. The supreme state of liberation is only Brahman. The supreme principle without duality is also only Brahman. All ever is only Brahman. In the name of the feet of Shiva, there is no doubt about this. There is nothing at any time that is permanent apart from Brahman, which is eternal. Nothing. If it changes, it's not our truth. This truth we've given our lives, so many of us, in search of. Experiencing change all along the way. Experiencing everything. In whatever way, in whatever, wherever, whatever exists, all that in all those ways is only Brahman. The non-dual, perfectly full, imperishable existence which is established as the Self. In the name of Shiva, the mass of existence, consciousness, bliss, what is said is the truth. There is no doubt of this. How could we doubt this? I am ever only Brahman. There is no doubt of this. I am ever only Brahman. There is no doubt of this. You are ever only Brahman. There is no doubt of this. You are ever only Brahman. There is no doubt of this. All others are only Brahman. There is no doubt of this. All others are only Brahman. There is no doubt of this. There is not an atom apart from Brahman. Not an atom. There is not an atom apart from Brahman. Not an atom. All ever is only Brahman. All ever is only Brahman. I say this in the name of the pair of exalted feet of Supreme Shiva. I say this in the name of the pair of exalted feet of Supreme Shiva. All this exposition is the truth. All this exposition is the truth. If one utters, hears, or teaches to others this exposition, that all that appears as the world or individuals or the Supreme is only Brahman, he will thereby attain quickly the knowledge of the pure Supreme and, rid of all ego, become Brahman, the perfectly full bliss. I feel that's a good place to finish this reading. And I just let us sit for a moment, and then I'm to play a piece of audio from Muji. It's a beautiful way to end. It's Muji reading from the Ribhu Gita in a Dance Your Dance recording. Everything is only Brahman, and we can just go and dance our dance. Let us do that. Namah Shivaya.
I transcend all time. I transcend all space. I transcend all objects. I ever transcend everything. I am of the nature that has not an atom of conceit. I am of the nature that has not an atom of attachment. I am of the nature of the Immaculate Supreme Brahman Absolute. Inquire steadfastly into this every day. I am ever of the nature of truth. This I am. This I am. I am of the nature of changeless consciousness. This I am. All that exists is this alone. Beloved, know yourself to be this alone. I am of the nature of non-duality, without any second. This I am. All is this. Beloved, know yourself to be this only, and be happy. All this world, this life, this existence, this is your dance. Dance your dance. Be happy. Remain without attachment. Remain without desire. And dance your dance. Remain in peace. And dance your dance. free. Remain whole. Remain perfect. Remain as this and dance your dance. This is all there is. Just this. Be one with this. All this is only yourself, not apart from you. Include all this. And dance your dance. Peace is your nature. Joy is your nature. Dance your dance.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here with me today. Go dance your dance. Everything is Brahma. Namah Shivaya. Guruji Ki Jai. Anantaji Ki Jai. Sangaji Ki Jai.